Well, hello everyone, and happy Easter. And yes, it is still Easter because Easter is a season that lasts from Easter Sunday until Pentecost, which is 50 days after Easter. This year, Pentecost is on May 23rd. Hi, my name is Ann Ellis, and I am the Children, Youth, and Family Minister at Mount Seymour United Church in North Vancouver. And I'd like to welcome you to our gathering video for April 18th, 2021. This week, we are going to look at a story about a character in the Bible named Doubting Thomas. And we've got a few activities for the end of this video. The one that I'm going to teach you how to do, you might not have everything accessible. You might have to gather up some things and then come back to this video a little later on and watch the end. I'm going to teach you how to make a no-sew sock bunny. It's super cute and cuddly, and you don't have to have any sewing experience at all. So what you're going to need for this little guy or girl is you're going to need a sock, and I bet you probably have single socks laying around the house, socks that don't have a match, and so you can use those socks. It's a perfect way to use up those socks. So a sock. You'll also want some dried beans or some uncooked rice. That you don't need a lot, but you need a little bit so that you can put it in the bottom, and that helps to weight the stuffy so that it sits up really nicely. You'll also need some stuffing to make your stuffy nice and squishy. And you know, if you have a lot of mismatched socks, you could probably stuff your bunny with single socks and use them up that way. You'll also need a pair of scissors and some string and a black marker. Some optional things would be buttons like this, maybe some ribbon if you have some ribbon, maybe some embroidery thread or colored yarn if you have some, and glue. But those are kind of optional. I will put a list of all of these things in the description below, so you can pause the video now and go gather those things, or wait until this video is over and then gather everything to make your sock bunny. Okay? Okay. What you are also going to need for our video this week is the Lord's Prayer booklet that we started last week. The template for this, again, is in the description below and in the email that came out to your parents. I'll just put that there. And there's also a coloring sheet that looks like this. Again, it's in the description below and in the email that came to your families. This is for our closing prayer at the end of our video. Okay. I think that's everything we're going to need today. So let's take a moment and prepare for our time together. For our Easter opening prayer, we are going to do a call and response. We started learning it last week, and we're going to do it again this week. And I have our cue cards to help us to learn this. So I say a line, and then you say a line after me, but it's not the same. It's not a repeat after me, it's a call and response. So here we go. God be with you, you say, and also with you. lift up your hearts. You say, we lift them to God. Let us give thanks to God. And you say, it is good to give God thanks and praise. Amen. This week, as we light our candle, we remember that we are welcome. We are all welcome to share in the light of Christ, the light of creation, the light that shines within each one of us. We are all welcome, no matter how old or how young we may be, no matter our marital status, our financial situation. We are welcome no matter our gender identity, gender expression, or sexual orientation. We are welcome here. We are welcome if this is the first time coming to join a video, or if you've been watching these videos for a while. And we are welcome here whether we're Christian or part of another religion or faith tradition, or if we're not a part of any religion at all and are simply curious. We are all welcome. And we are welcome because we seek the ideals of peace, justice, and compassion. And we take a moment to acknowledge the land on which Mount Seymour United Church is built. It is built on the land of the unceded and ancestral territories of the Tsleil-Waututh people, who are part of the Coast Salish, which includes the Squamish and the Musqueam. And they have been stewards for this land from time immemorial. And we express our thanks and our gratitude for being able to live, work, and play on this land. So as I said at the beginning of this video, it's still Easter. We have Easter for another few weeks until Pentecost. And Easter is a strange and mysterious story. And that's why we spend some time after Easter to explore and be curious about the mystery that is Jesus dying and being resurrected, coming back in a different way. Today, I'm going to share a story with you about a friend of Jesus named Thomas, sometimes called Doubting Thomas. This story happened after Jesus had come back at Easter. This story is from the book of John, chapter 20, verses 24 to 29. Are you ready to hear the story? Thomas, called the twin, was one of the 12 disciples, but he was not with the other disciples when Jesus came the first time. So the other disciples said to him, "We have seen Jesus." But Thomas said back, "Unless I see the mark of the nails in his hands, and put my finger in the mark of the nails, and my hand by his side, I will not believe." A week later, the disciples were together again, and Thomas was with them. And although the doors were shut and locked, Jesus came and stood among them and said, "Peace be with you." And then he said to Thomas, Put your finger here and see my hands. Reach out your hand and put it by my side. Do not doubt, but believe. And Thomas answered him, My Lord and my God. Jesus said to him, You have believed because you have seen me? Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have come to believe. I wonder if you need to see something to believe in it. I wonder if you've ever believed in something that you've never seen. I wonder if it made you have doubts. As I said before, sometimes Thomas is called Doubting Thomas because he wanted proof that Jesus had been resurrected before he would believe that that's what happened. Jesus tells him not to doubt, but to believe, and that those who believe without seeing are to be blessed. But sometimes it's really hard to believe in something when you can't see it. Sometimes in the middle of winter, when it's been raining and cold for days and days and days, it's really hard to believe that spring will come. I just can't see it happening. And for a lot of us, it's really hard to believe that there will be an end to this pandemic. It's been going on for so long, it's hard for us to see a future where it doesn't exist anymore. It's really hard to believe sometimes that anything will ever be different. And it's totally okay to wonder and to have doubts because it's hard. But here's the thing about doubts. Despite having doubts, it's always good to have some hope. Even if we're doubtful like Thomas, if we remain hopeful that things will get better, things will change, then that helps us to have faith. And having faith will help us believe in the things that we can't see. So, I'm curious, do you have a story like Doubting Thomas? A story of a time when you had doubts and didn't believe in something because you couldn't see it, but then something changed and you did see or did believe? That's kind of a type of resurrection story. And I would love to hear any of your resurrection stories so that I can share them here in these videos. You can send me an email or record your own little video and send it to me, which would be really, really great. So for this week's activity, we are going to make this adorable little sock bunny. And maybe this little bunny can hang out with you, and when you have doubts or are afraid or, wondering about things, you can tell your little stuffy and your little bunny. This can be your doubting bunny. And you could tell your bunny those things that you doubt or aren't sure about, and maybe you'll feel better. Let's go put this one back here. So I'm going to show you how to make a sock bunny, okay? So the first thing you're going to want to do is get your dried beans or rice. I've got some dried beans in a bag. And it's best if you kind of open up your sock a little bit like this. And then you're going to put a handful or two, very carefully, of beans in the toe of your sock. And what this will do is it will make a bit of a weight so that your bunny sits up nicely when you put it down. So I've got it filled about that much with beans, and then it'll sit flat. And some instructions on the internet, if you look up instructions, will have you fill the whole sock with like rice or beans or something, which is totally fine, but not really very cuddly. So then you're going to take your stuffing, or if you have other unmatched socks, ball them up and shove them into your sock. I actually found these fuzzy socks in the thrift shop here at Mount Seymour, and they were pink and pretty, and so I decided I was going to use matched socks to make two bunnies. One to practice so I knew what I was doing, and one to show you. So then you're going to take stuffing and you're going to stuff your sock all the way to the heel. This one's really cool because it's a different colored heel, so it makes it really easy to kind of see where to put the stuffing to. But so you want to stuff it to the heel, and the more you stuff it, the squishier and the fatter your bunny becomes. I think I'm going to try to make this one a bit rounder and chubbier than the first one that I made. So let's just see. I'm going to really stuff it. We'll see. I mean, it's not going to stretch very much, but so once you've got your sock stuffed to the heel, you can take a piece of string or a piece of yarn or a ribbon, although string works great, and then you can put the ribbon over top because you want this to be nice and tight. And you're going to just tie your string really tightly around the stuffing. Hold on, I'll show you what I did. See? Like this. So this is the heel here, and it's just sticking out above the string. So the heel kind of makes for a good face shape, kind of sticks out a little bit. So then take some more stuffing or more unmatched socks and start stuffing what's going to be the head. And you can see I made this dude's head like that. I'm going to make his head, try and see if I can make the head a little bit bigger. It's not going to work very well though because of the shape of the sock. So now I've got it stuffed some more, and I'm going to want to tie this top bit, but I want to try to so you'll see how the sock kind of flops back this way. I want to try to tie it up at the top a little bit more because that'll be better for the ears. Okay, so I'm going to take another piece of string and I'm going to tie his head like this. Okay, so now I've got this guy, or girl, or non-gendered rabbit, I don't know, like this. Ta-da! So now I need ears. And so you'll need really good scissors for this, like fabric scissors or really sharp scissors. And mine aren't super sharp, so this is going to take a while. And you basically just hold the top of your sock and cut downwards. And depending on like the size of your sock and the shape of your sock, your ears might stick up more. You could, you know, cut the tops to sort of shape them like rabbit ears a little bit more. You could, if you wanted to sew, you could probably sew them into like more bunny rabbit ear shapes, or something like that. But now you've got the basics of a rabbit with floppy. This one's got floppy ears. Now, with a marker, you can make your bunny rabbit face. We're gonna just go like this, and we're gonna go like this. Some eyes. Now, some of the rabbits on the internet, again, the pictures have a little cross shape, and then a little mouth. I'm going to see what it looks like if I do a little kind of triangle, and then do a little mouth like that. This bunny just a little bit different. There we go. Ta-da! And if you've got buttons, you could glue or sew on little button eyes. You could use some ribbon to put some ribbon around. You can see I have some blue ribbon that I put on this bunny. I found bunny buttons, and so I put a bunny button on this one. I just used a little bit of glue to put a button on my bunny, and I think I'm just gonna leave this bunny as is. So there you go. Super easy, fast way to make a cozy little stuffy. This is our little bunny of spring and Easter. Ta-da! So before we close, 2 more things. One, the coloring sheet that is a part of today's video, you'll see, is the Lord's Prayer coloring sheet. And so it's got lots of different symbols for the Lord's Prayer, and it's got blanks. So you can fill in the blanks as you're coloring, and that'll help you to learn the Lord's Prayer, which we're going to practice in just a minute. And I also wanted to remind you about our other activity that you can take part in after this video is over, which is painting stones and rocks, and then going and putting them out somewhere in your neighborhood and joining the North Shore Rock Hunt, which is all about making pretty things and putting them out in the world for people to find. And I will put a link to that Facebook page in the description below. And I've made a whole bunch of rocks this week, and I am going to take them out and I am going to hide them in 2 different places this week. I'm going to give you some clues in just a moment as to where they're hidden, and I invite you to go find them, take a picture of them, or trade them for a rock that you've painted, and post your rock pictures and where you find my rocks on North Shore Rock Hunt. And it's kind of a fun way of playing a bit of a scavenger hunt game, but still staying safely social distanced. So, in 1 second, I'm going to give you some clues to where I'm hiding these rocks. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to close our time with practicing the Lord's Prayer, which we started last week and we're going to do throughout the season of Easter. Last week I gave you all this little Lord's Prayer booklet. Again, the link to this template is in the description below and in the email that I sent out to families. I'm going to read the first couple of lines for us to practice. You can read along with me, and then I'll read the whole thing through, and that will close us off together. So Jesus taught us to pray this way, and these are the words that he used. And if we want to change the words a little, that's good. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. That's the line we're adding this week. So let's do that one more time. You ready to practice with me? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Great. Now we'll read the whole thing through to the very end so we can get a feel for the whole prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the power. Oops, I made a mistake. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Go repeat that one more time. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you so much for being with me this week. I look forward to seeing you again next week, and I really look forward to seeing some of your pictures of your rocks and your paintings. And if you make a bunny, you can send me a picture, and send me your stories about resurrection or being like Doubting Thomas or anything that you want, actually. And I will see you next week for our next video. Bye.